group of people that came from a generation that 70 years ago did nothing less than save this world. These people came from all walks of life. They were truck drivers, they were auto mechanics, they were school teachers. They stepped up when their country called for them. We owe them more than our respect. We owe them our very lives.
When my mother and father bought the business in 1964, it was dramatically different than it was today. Early 70s was when we saw really the first work that was done in horse nutrition throughout the world. It had been very, very backwards up until then, very traditional, hay, oats, and water kind of a mentality. But then science became involved and started to develop a lot of products that made a lot more sense in terms of fortification, growing young horses, all of these kinds of things that fit well into producing feed products that were ultimately going to be part of what we did. Throughout all that time, though, my father felt like the only thing that we have to sell is service. So that whole mentality of service, I think, stemmed from his upbringing in the 30s and the 40s in Kentucky on a farm family and always giving back to the family, hard work, subsequently the military. So service above self was a huge part of his DNA and what he wanted to be about as a company and about an individual. And honestly, through osmosis, that just became part of what this company was and what we did and what we stood for. We were looking at what would we do that would be unique? What could we do to, celebrate our 50th year, but give something to the community?
Because it's got to be a two-way street. Any business has got to be a two-way street. And that's what we've always tried to do.
Honor Flight seemed like a fantastic organization to be involved with. And there had been guys from this, and ladies from Central Kentucky that had gone down to Louisville and gone on a flight. But this was the first time a flight had started here in Lexington with a group of vets getting on. And as we talked to folks at the airport and the various other agencies that were involved, they were laying the red carpet out to do what was ever possible to make this a special day for the community, for the vets that participated in their families. They were all jockeying for the seats they wanted to sit in so they could see everything, and having roughly 180 people on that plane that were all headed to one destination to do one thing, I think must be like sitting on a plane with the Super Bowl team going to the Super Bowl. There were a number of gentlemen who said, I've never been to Washington, so a lot of the guys never had the opportunity to see these monuments. And so that was special to know that you were going to get to provide through our sponsorship the opportunity for them to do that. The ones that could walk were almost running to get in there. And the first thing they wanted to do was run to the Kentucky section of the monument, have their picture taken under the Kentucky monument. But then you would watch these various levels of emotion go through them. They would see one another, and there may have been one guy on the front of the plane and the other on the back that didn't know each other, and they're hugging and crying on each other's shoulder.
We're not accepting all of this gratitude for us. We're accepted for the ones that we helped bury.
Oh man, it's everything I was hoping it would be. I'm telling you, I've just never experienced anything like this, you know.
And then I think the thing that ultimately capped the day for me in Washington was watching all the vets that were on the plane line up at the Iwo Jima Memorial and salute the camera. And then the creme de la creme, the icing on the cake, was the coming home party. I mean, to be led out by Marine Honor Guards and a 15-piece bagpipe band, and to have 1,000 people at the airport and crying and hugging these vets and thanking them. I mean, the emotion that was there that night was just way beyond what I could have imagined. really not a point during the course of the day that was any more important or any more impressive or any more moving for me than that final few minutes in Lexington.
The only thing I could say would be thank you for what they did. It's a great country and they helped keep it that way.
On behalf of Hallway Feeds, my father, Bob Hall, the president of Hallway Feeds, myself, and all of my colleagues here, along with the customers whom we serve each and every day, thank you very much for your service to our country. We will continue to keep you in our prayers, to think about you, to wish only the best for you. God bless. Thank you.